Welcome to the Sabbath. This mindfulness practice has been designed specifically to deepen your experience of this sacred day by steadying and quieting the mind for deeper stillness, communion, and connection. When was the last time you ended a Sabbath feeling profoundly, deeply rested? As in, that was so nice. Why don't we aim for that today, even if it sometimes feels impossible? We're serious. Let's give it a shot. Like all impossible things, let's start at the beginning with the first step, waking up. Most days, we have to push back on those wild animals waiting to drag us off into our task list, right? But does today really need to be the same? Rather than jumping out of bed into our head, how about feeling out your body first thing today? Stretching it, feeling the contact with the ground, and directly experiencing the breath inside. A breath that you have been lent for another day and moment. In and out. Up and down. Riding the waves of the breath of life. And staying with that breath as long as you need, as long as you'd like. Up and down. In and out. Not thinking about the breath, directly experiencing it as an anchor to this moment, here and now. When your mind wanders off, not a problem, just noticing where your attention has gone and shifting it back to this breath, right here. Up and down. In and out. After you do that for a period of time, shifting your attention now to something else. Sounds in the room. Letting them take center stage now in the field of awareness. Sounds and the spaces between sounds. Not trying to fix or change them, just letting them be. Next, shifting to your thoughts, watching them like weather patterns overhead. Not trying to fix or change them either, just letting them be too, as they shift and change all on their own. Same with your feelings too, pushing back and observing them. For now, letting them be exactly as you find them. All these parts of your direct experience can be powerful anchors to remain present to what is here. and a great way to ground yourself, not just in the morning, but any time throughout the day. But if your own body and mind are the only objects of focus, we will miss something important. Shifting your attention now from your body, mind, and heart, outward, upward, to the one who is in and through all things, but not just an essence, someone who also has a concrete, glorified body and a beautiful mind and heart we can trust. Letting your attention rest as best you can right there with Him, on Him, in Him. Resting not just cognitively, but emotionally, and yes, physically, in God's presence. For many, of course, this experience of God is not something out there, away from them, but felt right here in the body, through our own emotions and thoughts, in communion with His, resting in your own spirit as you commune with His Spirit. When your mind wanders off from resting there, communing and being with God, that's not a problem. Once again, just noticing where your attention has gone and shifting it back, just like we did with the breath, this time to the very source of your breath. Feeling the rise and fall. Then returning your attention to the one who gave it to you. What kinds of thoughts and feelings arise in you of praise, of gratitude, of concern? Vocalizing what comes to mind, and not just from desires inside you. Seeking in these moments to discern His own will, so you can align your words and heart with that. Now, as best you can, living by every word that proceeds forth from His mouth, and not just every thought that proceeds from your head, or every desire that proceeds from your heart. Staying before Him as long as you need, or as long as you'd like, right there, right here with Him. As Isaiah wrote, "Thou wilt keep them in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on Thee," meaning dependent or focused on Thee, because they trust in Thee. When you're ready, coming back to the breath, what do you notice as you come back? What kind of residue do you feel? Rather than shifting now into a state of franticness and entering that doing mode of mind for the rest of the day, here's the real practice, making the rest of your day a sanctuary for a seamless continuity of this same kind of communion. If you were at a mindfulness retreat, you would get up from a practice like this and move into a mindful meal, usually in silence, where you tasted the food and really let yourself experience the meal. Could you do the same today? Then you would transition back into other kinds of contemplative practice. As Latter-day Saints, we don't have a tradition of spending the whole Sabbath in silence and stillness, even if you don't have toddlers in your home. But are there other patches of your day when you can do so? How about just sitting down in a chair and being there, right there, with whomever else is there with you, and with whatever else is on your mind? Are there any other times you can block out and cordon off? It might take a little extra effort to do so at first, like a rebounder pushing others away to grab the basketball. But that work is worth it. Are there any other boundaries you can strengthen and reaffirm today between you and the hundreds of other things that normally bounce across your eyeballs? No email checking, no news scrolling, no usual entertainment, or endless sports updates? Try it. Experiment with it. Push back. Create sanctuary in your own home and a retreat on your own turf. No need to chant or only to keep silence. Welcome in music and singing and talking and this radical thing called reading. What sacred texts could you relish today? Allowing those words to be another anchor for your attention to settle and ground, becoming another chance to extend the divine communion. Are there people you might feel drawn to calling or visiting, or individuals in your own home who need to spend time with you? Let each of these conversations be another kind of practice, and the details of their needs acting as another anchor for the mind, bringing your attention back to their experience when you wander, to their face, their voice, their words, relishing them. Are there songs you might sing, resting in the sensations of exertion inside and the sounds of the words themselves, as a full-bodied, full-souled sharing of desire? And when you sit with others to raise your voice in song or worship, rather than a distraction from your mindfulness practice, consider worship with your brothers and sisters as a centerpiece of your mindful practice, allowing that spoken word to be an anchor for your attention as well, bringing your mind back over and over. Relationships are always advanced practice, as one teacher put it, and the experience of sitting in worship together, singing together, listening to a speaker, can be a very rich practice itself. And then, of course, the true core of a beautiful Sabbath day, the sacrament itself. It's not always easy to rest our attention on what's most important during the sacrament. If you have a chance to participate in the sacred ordinance of sacrament, allowing the bread and water to be concrete, visceral objects of awareness, helping you to focus your attention and allow things to settle inside and be here. fully and on throughout the day. A day unlike all other days. A day not of busyness or rumination, but of rest and rejuvenation, restoration and revelation. If you find your mind is still actively rebelling against any of these possibilities, consider these lines from ancient teacher Talopa, receiving them as an invitation to enter into the spirit of true Sabbath rest. Let go of what has happened. Let go of what may come. Let go of what is happening now. Don't try to figure anything out. Don't try to make anything happen. Relax right now and rest. Of course, not all our Sabbath day will likely feel this way. There are things to get done and figure out and make happen. But if you allow yourself to really rest for part of the day, all that other doing can come out of this deeper place. Good luck. Hoping your Sabbath is wonderful.